Hi, I'm Skyra with Sovereign Vision Temple. Today I've had a lot of inspiration on making a video, so here I am again this afternoon, out in where I'm at this moment in Austin, Texas, living on a agricultural type farm or like a little place that people are growing some food and have some chickens. Nothing exciting, nothing too intense, but it's nice to have there's a grow house right behind me. And I love the fact that they have some banana trees here, so it kind of have a little bit of a reminder of Hawaii everywhere I go. Um, so I kind of wanted to talk today about things I haven't really shared about, some things I experienced through my awakening process, and it's happening to a lot of people right now. And I'm watching everybody's not everybody, a lot of people are fed up. A lot of people are leaving their corporate jobs, leaving their big homes, giving up their places, living in vans, going out into the country, getting away from the craziness. And that's what happened to me, but it started back in like 2016, 2017. And I never really talked about all of that part of me at this channel. I started in, at one point, I was starting it in when I was in Hawaii and I had purchased some, or I was stewarding some land there. I will say that. I don't own anything at this point on this earth, but I was stewarding some land and building or clearing the land and building a little tiny home. And I was doing it all by myself. It was pretty intense. And at one point, I was living in this tent and on some, and had this big structure over top of me, was collecting rainwater and had outdoor showers. And it was awesome. It was really amazing. I had my first experience living off grid was in 2017, and I had gotten one of those rent to own like big sheds, and and everyone at that point of my life that kind of knew me thought I had lost my mind. They really did. Like, what is she doing? Um, Coming from the normal life of, and just it that is the process of the awakening, is letting go of all the things that we think we need, all of the things that society tells us we need. We need all these extra cars and big house, and it's just this process of separation that we've moved through, and society where we're just constantly um, buying more consumerism to fill some kind of a gap in our soul, to fill up this place that's missing, which is actually the spiritual connection that we're seeking. And it will never be found in things. I can tell you that. Um, it's nice to have some things, obviously, but when that is, you're seeking something outside of yourself, whether it's an addiction or addiction to shopping or anything, it's all looking for something to fill some kind of a void that you have within. And slowly, as the awakening process happens, it seems to be that we just let go of more and more, whether it's people or, possessions, because we began to integrate more with the spiritual world as a in the nature and natural world, for sure, the natural world. And I think that might be, for myself, that was what I'm holding my computer up, by the way. So, so I'm like sitting like this. But I've got it sitting up on this pillow thing, so when the wind blew a minute ago, it started falling. So I had to get it up to like where I could talk. But So if you see me grabbing at my computer, that's what I'm doing because I'm recording this video. Um, for myself, it was like I remember when I was little, because we have to kind of go back to when we were children to remember that innocence and that joy and that freedom that we had before we were told who we were supposed to be and how we're supposed to live. And I was always outside, like always outside. I just was always climbing trees and in the creeks and playing with the animals and the bugs and the crawfish or whatever. And that was like home for me. That was where I felt most at home. I didn't mind getting dirty. I was barefoot a lot, working in my or helping my grandfather. He grew a garden. And this is like the last of that. I was living in a huge metropolitan area and near DC at the time, and it was like one of the last places, like I guess in the 70s, where he was growing a garden. Um, Now, thank goodness, we went way far away from that, and now people are coming back to wait a minute. We need nature. We need natural food. We need to learn how to rebuild soil because our soil's depleted, and that's why our bodies are depleted because our body is actually part of nature. Our body is we're connected with nature, where our body needs those nutrients. And with the mass farming, our soil and our food that they're producing, mass producing, is nutrient deficient, and that means that our body is, and especially with all of the synthetic or fake food that they're making today, and all of the processed foods that, for convenience for people, they're making it. How can we mass produce things to make it easier for people to supposedly eat so that they can keep on working? And that's literally what this matrix system has created. And so many people are done. We're done. And, after years and years and years of on that hamster wheel and thinking that I had to buy more for my kids to be happy, I didn't know any better. I just thought that that's what we're supposed to do, so mid 40s, I'm completely burnt out, completely sick and drinking alcoholic, at this point, because that's a coping mechanism. That's pretty much what most of society does. You go work hard, go to the gym, work out really hard, kill yourself, um, and drink on the weekends to let it all go. You know? And yeah, I'm so thankful, so thankful that I learned a new way of life. That I learned how to I didn't care. People thought I was crazy. I didn't care because when I went on that little farm in 2017 and had this, it was actually a nice big shed. I was um building it out, and I had to end up leaving the land. But then I was like, man, I think it was like in North Florida, and I was like, wouldn't it be awesome if I could do that somewhere live in the tropics? And I had to end up going back to where my kids were in Virginia for a while. And then I ended up, after that, I went to Hawaii. And that is where I got to experience that dream, of building a place off grid on my own. However, things didn't go too well. I didn't share this story. It's taken me about 2 years to recover from stomping my feet and why didn't things go the way I wanted them to. And, it was just another life experience. Uh, I had to end up leaving the land, and it's just it's like every experience in our life is like something, whether we think it's bad or good, it's all an experience to teach us something. And at the time, I couldn't see that. And today I can look back and be like, yep, I should have been more discerning. Yep, I shouldn't try to do things myself anymore. Yep, where do I trust people too much. You know, there's just so many things I can look back at now, and so that's where I'm at. You know, now I've really integrated nature and integrated loving to live simply, very simply. Oh, and in between that, by the way, from 2020, I would spend my like about 4 to 6 months. I would leave the island and go and I'll share some pictures eventually on this channel if I really would love to share that, or maybe I keep saying I'm going to write a book about my experiences because and I also spent time in Alaska. I spent about 3 months in Alaska, out on a mountain, 45 minutes off the island, you know, off into on an island, learning how to live off grid, set up solar systems. And what an experience. You know, there's so many beautiful things I got to experience in this life, and I'm so grateful for. Um, you know, once you give up fear, you can, and I think I'm going a mile a minute. Sorry. After the Hawaii experience, I had to take some time because that was kind of a traumatic ending for me. And I started, so on and off, I was also doing the van life. Um, you know, 4 months at a time, I would leave the island, and I've driven across country 4 times, and I haven't shared any of this. I just, you know, with the public, I haven't. But what I'm recognizing people are doing is they're going within. You know, we're individuating. That's what this. So we're going to call it individuation, means that we're leaving what society is telling us that we're how we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to live, and we're getting reconnected to ourself, to our soul, and to nature. And it's such a beautiful thing that this is happening because we're not going to sustain the way it is. It's not, you know, it's not made to sustain life the way we've been, we've been programmed to live with, to make more money, pay more taxes, pay more taxes. What a joke. What a joke. So they can start more wars, right? And they can, so we're like their little slaves. Um, they think we are. I shouldn't say that. I should say it the right way. But we're waking up. We're waking up to that realization. And maybe in the next few videos, I'll share more about what Sovereign Vision Temple is actually beyond the speaking about individuation and awakening, inner healing, addiction recovery, um, you know, all of these things that we go through to get to the point where we find our true power. And that's really what it's about. Spiritual awakening is awakening to our divine power, our sovereign divinity. That's what it's about. And where we go in our every lifetime, or who every soul is different. But for myself, I came here to fully remember my power. And um and I just refuse. I refuse to play in the matrix. I refuse. I mean, I'll play, but I refuse to integrate with that slave system. So I will be sharing more about that and what I'm learning. And if anybody is interested in that, that's kind of a cool thing. Or I might be just starting some private groups on that. Let you know, comment and let me know if you are really interested in learning about sovereignty and how to become a sovereign, how to become sovereign. I'm not gonna say we're not citizens. We're not citizens. We are, and a lot of that information is coming out now. Um, it's probably the biggest mind blow that you'll ever experience to understand what's really happening with our system, our government system. Um, but that video wasn't about this. It was about living off grid and leaving the system and being more, um, you know, living in peace and away from all the insanity, living a slower life, going within, integrating nature into our life. And so if you'd like to hear about more about my stories, please comment. Let me know. I have a lot of them. I'll share my stories. I have so many stories. I can speak about my experiences off grid. I can speak about all kinds of spiritual experiences I've experienced during my awakening when I was angry at the world and, when it left the church and was just mad, was angry and it kept being pursued by this spiritual awakening to see that there was definitely something beyond this physical world. I already knew that, but I was angry at my life and I was angry at the things that had happened to me in my childhood. And so I thought that there was no God. Um, but the thing is we're given free will. We're given free will in this life, and we've created all of us who have, our ancestors. We're correcting the the mistakes of our ancestors right now. The frequency of this earth is rising, and we're remembering who we are, and we're correcting the mistakes to ascend into the planet that we originally was intention for. This planet Earth was in a 5D fifth dimensional frequency of love and joy and peace, and that is where we are headed. Anyway, have a beautiful day, and I'll share some more later. And if you would like to hear more, please like, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to share more stories. If you have any questions, feel free to post. Thanks. No.